I'm vengeance.
3 reasons to watch The Batman, coming up right here on All Comics Access. Welcome to All Comics Access. You know who it is. Joe the Beast McCoy, aka the Mixed Marvel. Feels good to be back after a little bit of a hiatus. And I mean, what better way to start it off than talk about what I quite possibly think is the movie of the year. I mean, maybe a little premature to say, but you know, to me, this absolutely blew me out of the water. But before we proceed, please make sure, smash that like button. And if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe down at the bottom. Alright, so let's get right into it. Don't want to waste any of your time. Oh, and also, before I continue, make sure you stick around to the end. I'll give you a quick little bonus tip on how to prepare for this epic saga of a movie, I should say. Alright, so I'm going to get right into it. My 3 reasons that this movie surprised me beyond reason. It just, you know, it was unlike anything I have seen. So, we're going to start off with number 1, the story. What I loved about the story, it was like an epic fusion of Batman Year One and The Long Halloween, 2 of my favorite Batman comic books. It was beyond outstanding. I mean, it pulls you in like right away, because you're thinking, is this going to be a possible copycat of, you know, other Batman movies we've seen? But no, this stands in a class all of its own. Yeah, the dark ambiance. There was no glitz. There was no glamour. This didn't have, you know, the showy display, the comic book vibe. It was like a real dose of realism to the city of Gotham, to Batman, to, you know, all the various individuals you see throughout the movie. He had a cool, realistic twist on the costumes. Absolutely, what was amazing to me, you got to see the detective aspect of Batman really captured well throughout the story. It almost had a cool murder mystery sort of vibe throughout the movie, and nothing was what it seems. There was always twists throughout the storyline, which definitely kept me on the edge of my seat. Number 2, the character portrayal. Okay, if you like me, I'm a die-hard Batman fan. Favorite DC superhero all time. I'm saying it right here. So, you know, when Robert Pattinson initially was casted for the part, you know, I was like, ooh, that's a little bit sketchy. The Twilight dude.
No, God! No, God, please, no! No!
But I have to say, he captured the essence of Batman in the greatest way possible. I mean, first and foremost, you know, you get that sense of Batman, you know, much like the Year One days, where he's like hungry. There's a grittiness, but also, you know, while he is driven, there's those little bit of flaws. You know, he has the awesome utility belt, but he's still kind of building the repertoire. He definitely has his fighting skills down pat, but also, you know, there's certain elements and things he's still getting the feel for. And he absolutely did this perfect. And he kind of had that interesting disconnect of how, you know, in the beginning that, you know, Bruce Wayne kind of wasn't content with his average everyday life. He was more focused on trying to save Gotham in a sense, you know, while being a vigilante Batman, and had no taste for his regular everyday life. And I felt like Patterson delivered on all 4 fronts, because I know the real trick with, you know, any Batman movie, and like we've all seen, we've been fans for a long time, is that you have to capture the essence of Bruce Wayne and Batman, who they are as individuals, and Patterson absolutely delivered in both aspects. Gotta talk about my girl, Zoe Kravitz. I mean, yowzas. Whew. She caught everything on so many levels. She had that awesome flair of the thief aspect. Also, she was on her own journey trying to maneuver through the gritty underworld that is Gotham. It was pretty awesome how she captured that chemistry, you know, between her and Batman. So she definitely delivered all 4 fronts, adding the Catwoman's awesome legacy.
Oh, I love that. It's a noble cat ready to pounce off a ledge.
Or it's doing its business in the litter box.
Interestingly enough, too, Andy Serkis, his awesome display as not just any Alfred, but a younger version of Alfred, which is very rare to see, in most of the great Batman cinema we've seen throughout the years. So that's definitely shown the early stages of Batman. But interestingly enough, you see that he's still trying to have that father mentorship kind of bond with Batman, which is pretty awesome. But he definitely delivered on that great angle. And refreshing enough was definitely Jeffrey Wright. He did a great thing as Jim Gordon, and outstanding. You see basically his perspective, and this is an early Jim Gordon, hungry for justice. I mean, the whole force is nearly corrupted, and Gotham City is crumbling, but he's definitely set on doing all this righteous sort of things. And what I love, he captured that great aspect of building a great bond with Batman, looking out for his best interests. He saw Batman's genuine display of character, and I mean, he just captured it so well. This is another notch for his already awesome, great legacy. And I mean, most shocking for me was definitely Paul Dano's display of the Riddler. Wow. I mean, I'm talking, this gave me Batman Zero Year vibe. If you read that comic, definitely that was that great work of Greg Capullo and Mr. Snyder, doing that dark, grittier twist on the classic rogue character that we all know and love. I mean, throughout the years, he's always been animated, a little crazy, but this is a darker, grittier version. And, he still kept Batman on his toes, which was amazing, but definitely had a crazier vibe to him, much more sinister. And Paul definitely delivered when giving this awesome twist to an already well-known character. And then, of course, the guy that killed it when it came to like a great surprise, my man Colin Farrell, a name that's well known in the acting world and throughout awesome movies. I mean, his Penguin, crazy. And this is a Penguin like, us fans of Batman are familiar with. I mean, for instance, we saw games like Arkham City that we loved, and just throughout the comics in recent years, he's been more of a mobster gangster sort of character, and he killed it. Colin Farrell, I mean, if you didn't look at the credits or know ahead of time, you're like, who's this guy doing this awesome Penguin? You're like, Colin? I mean, just crazy, awesome. And then, of course, third and final, why I absolutely love this movie overall, it is the perfect escape. When you first hear, 3 hours, you're like, oh my, I don't know if I can do this. But trust me when I say, as someone that has seen it twice, those 3 hours will fly by. Because like, once you're engulfed in the movie, the great storyline, the twists, the turns of it all, I mean, capturing that great essence of Gotham City, the poor versus the rich, this is on the fringes of a crazy society. Seeing Batman's awesome journey, him starting off with the rogue gallery, the mob aspect, just the pure struggle of it all. And, this being early stages of this great franchise, and just seeing something awesome, because it's like the biggest thing about the story, when you think you know where it's going, it goes somewhere left field. And that's all I'm going to tell you as far as like that aspect. But this is a great escape, and like I said, it's a positive form of escapism. So what lies ahead for this great the Batman franchise? I'm excited to see. I'm hearing rumors of a epic sequel. I'm hearing all kinds of different stuff, HBO Max spinoffs and stuff. So look forward to some great things this awesome new franchise is going to lay down for us. But definitely a must-see for everybody. Also, before I go, as promised, here comes a bonus tip of how you can prepare for this epic saga. And before I go, I just want to also remind you, you are awesome. You do matter. Whatever you're working towards, never give up. And always remember, most importantly, rise up and geek on. Okay, it's imperative. Before you go see the Batman review, you got to stay prepared. So first and foremost, you got to have the proper apparel. So I got my classic Killing Joke shirt. Pretty awesome. You can't go wrong. Boom. Oh, and also, this is my second time seeing this epic 3-hour saga, because it's imperative that so I can give double the awesome review right to you, I gotta get all the nooks and crannies and little details. And also, before you see this epic 3-hour DC Comics masterpiece, please fuel up with some awesome food, much like I'm doing. So, so I don't get too sluggish with things. I'm just keeping it a little light, a little bit of Panera Bread action, keeping it real simple. Who knows, I might go hunting for a couple little collectibles if I got enough time before the movies. I possibly think it could be the movie of the year, but I'll leave that up to you.